Hi and hello. I hope all is well with you wherever you are in the world today, and welcome. This is Dune Imperium, and I am Admiral Trench. I do apologize that the table is a little bit crooked. I think I can make it better a little bit if I could just this will take a little bit of practice. You see, since I relayered everything on the table, yeah, that should be better. The orientation is a little bit off now, right? Yeah, I see. It's a little bit crooked, but I will solve that problem. Okay, wonderful. Now, the other thing I need to do is, if you could just be a little bit patient with me, I apologize for this. That has happened the last two games now where I've had to do this because in both instances I had to reorient the board, and that is why it's so crooked. I think that's pretty good. We'll just go with that. Yeah, it's not going to get any better really unless you go like that. Let's take a look and see. And now you see the table on the side. That is not right. Nope, I don't like that at all. This is not going to do. So I apologize. Let's just try what we did earlier again. Okay, that should do the trick. All right, sorry everyone that this is taking so long. I tried to do this fast. It's just ever since my computer broke, this is how it's been. All right, wonderful. Okay, well, let me do my formal introduction here in just a moment. If you could just be so patient for me, and we'll get this game going. Yeah, this is what it's going to have to be like. I can't do a perfect production yet until I get my computer. And I made another sale today that brings me up another $100 closer to my goal. I also have a new orientation for my microphone. So we're going to have to see how that turns out. It's closer to the fan, so I hope it doesn't pick up too much wind. But I think it's going to be all right. So let's get into game 14. Hi and hello. I hope all is well with you wherever you are in the world today, and welcome. This is Dune Imperium, and I am Admiral Trench. I'd like you to like and subscribe. It only takes a second, and please remember to share with your friends. I had 74 subscribers, and then for a short bit, I had 73 subscribers, and somewhere along the way, I got back 74 subscribers. So someone new has subscribed to my channel. So I'm pretty stoked about that. And, you know, I got to say, it's pretty cool having a channel that people are interested in. And, yeah, it's a lot of fun. And I do think that there's a lot of hope for the future with this channel. Like, there's a lot of potential that it could get better. Lots of other games I could do. I'll tell you what, though, it's all the incentives for me are to play Dune Imperium, and there are hardly any incentives for me to play Dune Uprising because I haven't hardly bought anything for Dune Uprising. All of the fun stuff I have in this game are for the base game, Dune Imperium, right? Like all these LEDs, all these figurines, all the tracker tokens, all the stuff that I've bought has been for the base game. So I could play Uprising for sure. It's just I don't play it nearly as often as I play this game. And that's just the way it's going to be, right? Okay, so let's get into this game, shall we? I play at Kwisatz Haderach level difficulty. And the way that it works is as follows. I am not allowed at any time to buy a Swordmaster. Okay? If I want to use the Mentat space, it costs me 5 Solari instead of 2. My opponents begin the game with 1 intrigue card and 1 water. Normally, I wouldn't begin the game with any resources at all, but because I'm the Beast Raban, I start with 1 spice and 1 Solari. All right, now, with that said, it takes 3 intrigue cards for my opponent to gain a victory point. It takes 3 waters for my opponent to gain a victory point. It takes 7 Solari for my opponent to gain a victory point. And it takes them normally 7 spice to gain a victory point. But as long as I have the Rise of Ix expansion, as you see before you here, they hoard spice to buy tech tiles. Now, my opponent get their Swordmaster in the 3rd round. So that is where the game gets extremely bloodthirsty and extremely dangerous. So let's begin this game by discussing what is for sale in the Imperium Row. I have Smuggler's Thopter. For 4 persuasion, it lets you go to yellow spaces, and if you have 2 influence with the Spacing Guild, you get to draw 2 cards. Otherwise, you can reveal for 1 persuasion and 1 spice. Water Peddler, for 1 persuasion, it gives you a water when you purchase it. It does absolutely nothing on an agent phase. However, if you discard a card or trash a card with the unload ability, you gain a water. The Kwisatz Haderach, for 8 persuasion, it's a Bene Gesserit card, and it says, send one of your agents from anywhere to any board space, even if occupied. You get to draw a card. It does nothing for you on a reveal phase. Bene Gesserit Initiate, for 3 persuasion, lets you go to green, blue, and yellow spaces and draw a card. Gives you 1 persuasion for a reveal phase. Treachery, 6 persuasion. You get to go to all of the faction tracks. That's Emperor, Spacing, Guild, Bene Gesserit, and Fremen. And it says, gain 2 influence instead of 1, trash this card, or unload on a reveal phase to discard or trash a card. You get 2 troops, deploy these troops to the conflict. So you get 2 troops, they just go straight into the conflict. Now, over here in the Twi'leksu row, you have subject X137. It costs 2 specimen to buy, and when you buy it, you get to move your Twi'leksu track 1. It lets you go to green and yellow spaces, and if you have 1 genetic marker, you get to move your Twi'leksu track upon an agent phase, but it gives you 1 persuasion on a reveal phase. Unnatural Reflexes, for 3 specimen. It's a grafting card that gives you yellow spaces. If you have 1 genetic marker, you get to draw 2 cards. It gives you 1 persuasion and 1 combat point. All the way down here in the tech tiles, we have Artillery for 1 spice, reveal turn, plus 1 combat for revealed card that provides 1 or more combat this turn. Restricted Ordnance, for 4 spice. On a reveal turn, if you have a seat on High Council, 4 additional combat points. Spaceport, for 5 spice, immediately lets you draw 2 cards upon purchase, and you may put cards you acquire on top of your deck. Those are the tech tiles, and that is everything for sale in this Arrakis world that we're living in. And I begin this game, so let me draw my first hand. And we'll see what we got. Let me take a quick drink. It's a hot day today. Temperatures reached 100 degrees. My garage is boiling hot. Okay, so I have a Signet Ring, 2 experimentations, a Seek Allies, and a dagger. Interesting. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Maybe I will, golly gee, Signet Ring. I guess I could use my Signet Ring. Yeah, gosh, you know what? On my reveal turn this turn, I could buy Subject X137. This is what I like to think about. I usually start the game off by looking at what's for sale and thinking about what I want. Now, Subject X137, that could be good so I can get my Twi'leksu tracker moving. But I'm going to need to get that genetic marker in order for it to work. After that, it only lets you go to green and yellow spaces. How often as Raban will I be going to yellow spaces? That's an interesting question to consider. Then you have treachery. If I can get that, I definitely want it. That's for sure. Right now, I'm sitting at three persuasion. That's it. It's not a lot of persuasion, so I don't see myself getting treachery now. Yeah. So what would I do with seek allies? I guess I could go to like fold space. Yeah. Oh yeah. You know what I should do? I should probably flip the first conflict card. We have a skirmish for 1 victory point. That's first place, that is, and second place gets an intrigue card and 2 Solari. Okay. Well, it's always a mistake to fight House Hagal in the first few rounds until they've diminished their troops, until their troops and their garrison dissolves. They're less threatening down the road. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to drink some refreshing, cool water to stay cool. So I apologize. It's taking me a minute. Okay. So what do I want to do? I definitely would like to begin this game by going to smuggling. Or I would be able to go to wealth and get 2 Solari. Yeah, what if I did this? Okay, smuggling. That would end my turn with 4 Solari. That's not enough for a high council, but oh my goodness. I'm not going to be able to go back to smuggling next round. I need to be able to get that Chome tracker down. So what should I do? Okay. I will have a diplomacy next round. A thing I could do. Okay, here's what I could do. I've got it. So I'm looking at my hand right now. I have all 3 of my triangle cards in my hand. So I don't have any other triangle cards in my discard pile. At least I don't think I do. I won't be able to simply go to smuggling and then get that tracker down where I need to get all that Solari in the second round and then go to high council like I would like to. So instead, what I need to think about doing is using seek allies to go to wealth, get 2 Solari now, and then next turn I could go to wealth again with diplomacy and then use my dagger to take high council. That's what I'm thinking of doing. And it's not the best turn in the world, but it's something. And then I guess what I could do is if I go to seek allies for 2 Solari now, I could... oh gosh. Maybe the right move would be to use my signet ring to go to Carthag, gain myself a troop, 2 additional troops in my garrison. That would be 5 troops, and then get an intrigue card since I'm the Beast Raban. That would be very, very good. So I think that's the right move, and I think that's what I'm going to do. Yeah. So signet ring to take... oh my goodness. Not yet. No, I'm going to use Seek Allies first. Trash that card and put my agent on wealth. Give myself 2 Solari. Bump my tracker up 1. And that's going to be it for me on my agent phase. Let's go to Ariana Thorvald, who... uh-oh. It's happened again. Some of these cards are upside down. Some of these cards are right side up. And this time, I know I have no one to blame but myself. Oh my gosh. Technically, I'm looking at all of these cards, and that's not cool, but they must be fixed. So I'm just really quickly going to shuffle them up to fix them. I don't know how that happens, you know? I'm so uber paranoid about it. But now that means that I can probably just blame myself for the last time that happened. Alrighty then, here we go. Here we go. Dreadnought. Thorvald takes a Dreadnought. There you go. And she doesn't have enough to buy Tactile, so her negotiator goes to the planet Ix in the tech negotiation space. Oh, you know what? I accidentally did. No, I didn't. That's right. Sorry. Okay, now we're going to go to Harkonnen, who will harvest spice, but there is no bonus spice on the board, so instead he goes to smuggling all the way over here, and he bumps his tracker up 1. And then it comes back to me, and yeah, I think I'm going to use my signet ring and go to Carthag. Here, get myself 2 troops. Well, you know what? This is maybe a little crazy. Maybe I should consider getting into this combat. Ooh, Ariana Thorvald has a dreadnought. That would be so stupid of me. Well, let's think about this. I just generated 2 troops, and then I could generate 2 more, and that would put me at 8 combat points, and they only have 1 agent left. I feel like that's a pretty good lead, so I'm going to take it, actually. And I still get an intrigue card. Ooh, I would get 2 additional combat points if necessary. So this is actually good for a free victory point. I'll be happy to take that. Yeah, so let's go now to Ariana Thorvald for her second agent phase. And she can't go to Carthag because I'm already there, but she can go to Arrakeen, and there she's going to use her signet ring ability, getting her a water that puts her 1 water away from a victory point. She also generates a troop from her garrison. I'm sorry, from her supply to her garrison, and she puts a dreadnought in plus 2 additional troops. That's going to put her at 7. So I'm at 8 combat points, and she is going to be at 7 combat points. So she's right behind me, and I still have a dagger I could reveal, so I could give myself 3 additional points. Let's hope that pays off. But guess what? If I begin the next round, if I win this combat, that would give me 2 Solari and an intrigue card if I take second place. So I would have enough Solari for a High Council next turn, and I wouldn't have to take that Emperor track again. So that would be pretty good. Anyways, with that being said, let's move to Harkonnen, who will go to selective breeding, and he moves his tracker up 1, and that's all he does. So with that, let's go to my reveal phase now. I have 2 specimen I can add to the Axolotl tanks, which I will do, and I have a combat point, so bump that up to 9. And I have 2 persuasion, which there's really not, well, shucks, maybe I do want this. I could, well, here's what I need to look up in all seriousness. You know what I need to do? I need to look up Water Peddler or the upload ability, and I'll tell you why. Or the unload ability, and I'll tell you why. Because I want to know if I can trash itself. Let's see here. Note that the card with the unload reveal box does not itself provide the option to discard or trash it. Unless specifically stated, you must use other means to do so. So there you have it. You cannot trash itself. That's not a good card. Although it would let me trash daggers, and those are kind of good. Maybe I will buy Water Peddler, and I get a water right now, and then that would leave me open to take Hardy Warriors next turn. So I will do that, I think, actually. Buy that, get myself a water for purchasing it, and then I get to reveal the next card, and we have High Priority Travel, another 1 persuasion card. It's a Spacing Guild card that lets you go to green and yellow spaces, and if you have 2 influence, you can draw a card or get involved with combat. If you have 2 influence with a Spacing Guild, that is. And if you have 1 you get 1 persuasion and 1 Solari on a reveal phase. So now we're going to get into combat, since I've done that now. Actually, you know what? It's still my reveal phase before we get into combat. I apologize. I did want to buy Subject X-137. And when I buy that, I get to immediately move my Twi'leksu tracker forward 1 space, and that will go to my discard pile, and these specimen go back to the supply. Harkonnen, what do you want to do to beat me? You're going to tie with me, and I'm going to use Vicious Talents to cap out the victory at 11 and take a victory point, which puts me at 1. my opponent gets himself an intrigue card and 2 Solari. An intrigue card and 2 Solari, and right out of the gates, I'm in first place, so that's pretty nice. Alrighty then, so that was worth it, I think. I hope down the road that'll pay off. The first place token goes to Ariana Thorvald. The winnings have been resolved, and all 3 desert spaces are going to populate themselves with a little bit of spice. We're going to return all troops to their respective supplies. And Ariana Thorvald puts her Dreadnought on the Imperial Basin space. Then we're going to flip this conflict card. Terrible Purpose. First place gets a victory point and gets to trash a card. Second place gets water and 1 spice. We're going into the second round. I'm going to replace all of these trackers here. And then we are going to roll the Imperium Row dice. 2 and 2. That card gets sent away. And we reveal High Priority Travel. That's the same card that we just trashed. And then we reveal Usurp. For 4 specimen, it's a grafting card. You may graft this to a card in the Imperium Row without acquiring it. If you do, trash that card at the end of your turn. Wow, that's a really good card. It lets you put a specimen in the Axolotl tank, gets you 1 combat point and 1 persuasion on reveal turn. High Priority Travel for 1 persuasion allows you to go to green and yellow spaces if you have 2 influence with the Spacing Guild to get to draw a card or get involved in combat. It gives you 1 persuasion and 1 Solari on a reveal phase. All right, so with that being said, I would just like to inform everyone that I am in first place with 1 victory point. My opponents remain in last place with 0 victory points. And we're moving forward into the second round, and Ariana Thorvald begins this round to go to tech negotiation all the way over here. Now, she doesn't have enough spice to buy anything. Actually, I take that back. No, she doesn't have enough spice to buy anything. This she cannot buy because it doesn't have the House of Gaul logo on top. Now, they are all at the same level height. So the card that goes away is the topmost tech tile stack. And she reveals this tech tile. And it does have a House of Gaul logo on it, but she doesn't have enough spice to purchase it. So instead, she just puts a tech negotiator in this Planet X area in the negotiation space to reduce price down the road for her. And that's all she gets to do. So, Vladimir Harkonnen, what do you want to do? You want to go to Dreadnought. You want yourself a Dreadnought now. So that's nice. And from there, what does he do? He also gets to buy himself a tech tile, except he doesn't have enough money for a tech tile, so he puts a negotiator on the Planet X to hopefully reduce prices for him down the road. And then it goes to my turn now, and we will see what I draw. I have a diplomacy, a reconnaissance, a dagger, convincing argument. That's going to put me at 6 persuasion points. And yeah, I didn't end up winning second place in that combat, so I will have to go back to wealth. I will use diplomacy, and I'm going to take wealth, get a victory point by moving that up. I am at 2 victory points, and I get 2 Solari. That puts me at 5 total Solari, which means next turn I'm going to the High Council. And I'm hoping that will pay off, because if I have High Council, I could get restricted ordnance, perhaps, if I'm lucky. We'll have to wait and see. Yes. Oh, I don't have any yellow cards, so I can't go to the Imperial Basin. I want 3 spice. We'll have to wait until the next round to do that, because then what I'll do is I'll go to Imperial Basin, get 3 spice, come to tech negotiation, and get restricted ordnance, and that would help me win every combat this game. That would be really nice. Okay, so anywho, with that being said, I use diplomacy. That puts me down a persuasion from 6 to 5. And we move forward to Ariana Thorvald, who will take Conspire. She's not involved in combat yet, and she won't be in this round. But she does generate 2 troops from her supply to her garrison. And she moves her tracker up 1 space. This is the first time she's gone to an Emperor space. Now we're going to go to Vladimir Harkonnen, who will fold space, and he's going to go here and move his faction tracker up 1. And that's it. So what that means is I can now, this normally isn't what I was going to do. I was going to take High Council, but now it looks like the smarter move would actually be to just get involved in this combat so I can get a free victory point and trash out my garbage dagger card. That's what I think I'm going to do. So I will go to Carthag, and I will get to generate 1 troop from my supply to my garrison, and I'm going to push in 1 troop because my opponents are not involved in this combat, and I get an intrigue card, which is okay. That's pretty nice. So I pop this down. I move my Twi'lexu tracker forward 1. I get another intrigue card. If you have a seat on High Council, 2 spice. I was gonna. Okay, so this is very nice. So next round, I will go to High Council, get 2 spice, and that would put me at 3 spice, which means I can go straight to tech negotiation in the next round, so long as that space isn't taken, and get restricted ordnance. Okay, great, wonderful. So now let's get into my reveal phase. Forgot to put these back. I'm sitting with 2 combat points, and I have a dagger, so I will reveal that to 3 points, and for 4 for 4 persuasion, nothing really seems very appealing to me. I'm not going to lie. I don't like my choices in the Imperium row. I'm hoping to perhaps get Kwisatz Haderach if it's available. I just don't know. Or Treachery. Honestly, Treachery might be better for me at this point. So that's it. I'm going to close this hand, and we're going to get into the combat phase. I forgot to keep track of the agents on this tracker. My apologies. Hey, guess what? It's combat phase, and I win. So I get a victory point, and I get to trash a card. I'm going to get rid of my dagger. Second place gets absolutely nothing because no one's involved in combat. So, all right, wonderful. Now that the winnings have been resolved, all of these spaces, once again, these desert spaces, they get themselves some spice. Righteous. Super cool. So far, I'm off to the races. I'm winning this game so far pretty good. All right, great. All right, now what do? Return all the combat trackers to their home position. Return troops to their supplies. Flip the next conflict card. First place wins an intrigue card and 3 spice. Second place wins 2 spice. And we move into the 3rd round. I put this tracker back here. I put that tracker back there. And we roll the Imperium row dice. 3 and 2. Goodbye, Kwisatz Haderach. You're off of the purchasing row, and so is high priority travel. And we reveal Keys to Power and Arrakis Recruiter. Keys to Power, it costs 5 persuasion to buy. It lets you go to Spacing Guild spaces and Bene Gesserit spaces and green spaces. If you have 2 influence with the Emperor tracker, you get 2 spice, and it gives you 2 persuasion on a reveal. The Arrakis Recruiter costs 2 persuasion. It lets you go to blue spaces, and you get to generate a troop on an agent phase. And on a reveal phase, it gives you 1 persuasion and 1 combat point. In all seriousness, that's not a bad card to have. But instead, I'm still going to go for Treachery first. And if I can get that card later, I will. So with that being said, we're going to return all agents. And I'm going to announce to everyone that I am in first place with 3 victory points. My opponents remain in last place with 0 victory points, but don't sleep on them yet because this next round, they get their Sword Masters, and this is where the game gets extremely dangerous because they're definitely going to be getting involved in combat now at just about every turn. Okay, wonderful. And of course, Ariana Thorvald, you move the first place token player token to Harkonnen, who begins the next round. This is round 3. Let's begin. He's going to go to Fold Space, and he's going to get himself a victory point. And here he is, the 2nd place position at 1 victory point. Then it's going to go to me, and I need to shuffle my deck. I'm really hoping I get a green space so I can go to High Council and then I get another green card, so I can go to tech negotiation, and that way I can get restricted ordnance, which is going to help me kick butt a lot in combat this game. Let's see, in 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, let's see what we got. Darn it. I don't have enough for a high council yet. That's terrible. Okay, what will I do? I have a water, so I can go to Hardy Warriors. It's still so early in this round to see how it's going to shape up, and my opponents have so many troops. This seems so silly, and the rewards for combat right now are not particularly good. So I might, the smart move is to use experimentation. And yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my experimentation card, and I'm going to put my agent on the Imperial Basin. And hold on a second, if I remember correctly, yeah, nobody got involved in that last combat, so her dreadnought goes back to her garrison. She doesn't get anything this round, but I get 3 spice for going to the Imperial Basin. 1, 2, 3. And that gives me 4 total spice. Maybe instead of that, I should go to Haga Basin and get 5 total spice. But it would cost me my water, and I think I want that for Hardy Warriors down the road. So no, I'm going to stick with my plan and just take my 4 spice. I think that's the smarter move. And no, I'm not going to get involved in this combat. It just seems way too risky right now, and I'll just be happy with my decision. Now, because I used experimentation, I have to move my researcher track forward 1, and that's going to let me put a specimen in the Oxalotl tank, and I'll do that. And then we're going to go to Ariana Thorvald, who cannot go to Fold Space, but can go to Wealth, and she does, and she moves her tracker to the 2nd slot on that influence tracker, and she now is tied for 2nd place with 1 victory point. Now we're going to go to the Vladimir Harkonnen, who just took Hayliner. See, I told you guys, getting involved in combat right now seemed way too risky. But this is the 3rd time that Harkonnen has gone to the Spacing Guild. He's about to get that alliance token. So with that, he generates 3 troops from his supply to his garrison. He puts his dreadnought in. He puts in that plus 3 troops. So we got 2, 4, 6, 8. Right, all the way to 8, 9, 10, 11 combat points. Okay, and then it goes back to me. And so what do I want to do? I don't have any green spaces, so I can't go to tech negotiation. And I guess what I would like to do is I should go to a Bene Gesserit space and get a secret, is what I'm thinking. Yes, but let me see here. I'm at 6. Maybe the correct thing to do actually is to reveal now and buy treachery and get that out of the way. That might be the smarter move in all seriousness. You know what? If I do that, all that would do is get me 1 more victory point. No, I'm going to hold out and wait and see what happens. I will use my diplomacy. I feel like that's the more responsible thing to do. I will use my diplomacy, and that's going to put me to 5 persuasion. And I'm going to go to secrets and bump my tracker up 1 and get myself an intrigue card. It says bypass protocol. Acquire a card that costs 3 or less, or spend 2 and acquire a card that costs 5 or less to the top of your deck. Okay, that could come in handy down the road. I doubt it though. Okay, so now we're going to go to Ariana Thorvald. This is the 2nd agent phase. We've been in for a little while now. I just lost track. She doesn't have enough to go to interstellar shipping. She needs to influence the Spacing Guild, but she does get to go to the Great Flat, where she's going to get 5 spice. All right, she does get to push in for combat, her dreadnought, and a troop, which puts her at 5. And then it's going to go to the 3rd agent phase to Harkonnen, who will harvest spice as well. he's going to get himself 4 spice total, and he's going to push in his last remaining 2 troops into this combat, and he's probably going to take the victory because, let's face it, he's at 15 combat points. So now it goes to me, to my reveal phase, and I get to put a specimen in the Axolotl tank right here, and I have 5 persuasion, and there's nothing I want out of the Imperium row. Yeah, I believe that. There's really nothing I want. So I will just let that lie. I will let that be as it is. And with that being said, we're going to get into combat. So Ariana Thorvald goes, I beg your pardon, we still have Ariana Thorvald Ariana Thorvald's 3rd agent phase. She takes a Rakeen and she brings her agent all the way over here. She gets a troop from her supply to the garrison. It is a combat space, so she puts this in plus 2 more troops. And so now this is actually a race. 2, 4, 6 at 11. She's still a little shy of beating Harkonnen, but she also just used her signet ring, which gives her 3 water, which she will now spend to get a victory point. And here she goes. She's now in 2nd place with 2 victory points. And now we get involved in combat. Harkonnen, what do you want to do? You're only going to bump 1 point of combat. That puts him at 16. And Ariana Thorvald, you get 2 points in combat. That's going to get you 2 spice for 2nd place. And 1st place, Harkonnen, you are going to get an intrigue card, which that means you now have 3 intrigue cards. So these 3 intrigue cards get used, and you get a victory point. So you're tied for 2nd place at 2 victory points, and you still get 3 spice. Now that the winnings have been resolved, there's no spice that can be generated on any of these planets. We're going to return all these combat trackers back to their positions. The 1st dreadnought will go to, the 1st place dreadnought should probably get the victory. She'll get to put that there. 2nd place will get to put it here. All troops will return to their supplies. And we will roll the Imperium row dice, a 6 and a 2. So keys to power is gone, and we're going to replace it with the Benny Twi'lek's lab for 2 persuasion. Let's go to blue and yellow spaces and put a specimen in the Axolotl tank. It gives you 1 persuasion, and if you have 1 genetic marker, you get 1 spice. That's actually a pretty good card. I could consider doing that. Okay, now, with that being said, we will flip the next conflict card to see what's going to happen next. Secure Imperial Basin, and it just so happens that Harkonnen has the Imperial Basin. He has a dreadnought there, so he gets a defensive bonus that starts him off at 2 combat points. And if he wins 1st place, he gets a victory point and a flag at the Imperial Basin. 2nd place gets 2 water. All right, now I'd just like to say, as we get into the 4th round, that I'm in 1st place with 3 victory points. My opponents are in 2nd, tied with 3 victory points. And that is how we're going to get into the next round. It looks like the race is on. They're catching up, which is totally expected. I don't very frequently begin the game with so many victory points in such a short amount of time. So that was kind of interesting that it worked out that way. Okay. I get to start this next round. So let's do it. Okay. All right. How about that? All right. Let's see here. Okay, so here's where I will trash out my dagger. Actually, yeah, I'll trash out my dagger. What I want to do is, let's see here. I'm at 3 total persuasion. Still don't have enough for that. Oh, I might actually have enough to buy treachery because I'm at 3 persuasion now. And then if I go to High Council, that'll give me 2 more, putting me at 5. And then if I go to Tech Negotiation, that will give me 1 persuasion. So I would have 6. I could buy treachery. Now, here's what I'm going to say. I know for a fact that my opponents never take the High Council space. So I need to take tech negotiation first. Using subject X137 doesn't generate any agent bonus, and I need to use that persuasion point anyway. Oh yes, here's where it gets hairy. That's the problem. So first I would take this and go from 3 to 4. And then I would use Signet Ring to go to 5 to 6, but I would lose a persuasion as well. So it isn't actually enough to get treachery this turn. That's a shame. What a crying shame. It's okay. I'm going to use Dagger and go to tech negotiation right now and buy that restricted ordinance, and that's going to bump me up 1 persuasion, putting me at 4, and I'm going to get a -1 spice discount on restricted ordinance, so that means it's only going to cost me 3 spice. And here it is. It sits over here, and now I have that awesome bonus every time I get involved in combat by the end of this round, that is. And so we'll reveal the next tech tile. It is Mini Mike Film. I get 1 persuasion for every reveal turn for buying that card for 2 spice. And with that, we're going to move forward to Ariana Thorvald, who will go to Carthag, and she's going to generate a troop from her supply to her garrison, push them both in. 1, 2, put her at 4. She's going to move her Twi'lexu tracker up 1, and she's going to trash out Unnatural Reflexes. And here we go. She reveals Guild Impersonator for 2 specimen. It's a grafting card that gives you spacing guild spaces, and if you gain spice this turn while the card is grafted, you will get a free influence movement in the spacing guild that gives you 1 persuasion on a reveal. All right, good move for Ariana Thorvald. Let's get to Vladimir Harkonnen, who will harvest spice, but there is no bonus spice on the board, so nothing happens. Instead, he goes to Still Suits, and this is the first time he's gone to a Fremen space, so he moves his tracker 1. And now it goes back to me for my second agent phase, where I want to use my Signet Ring to take High Council all the way over here. I spend all 5 of my Solari. That's right, and I put my tracker on the High Council right here. And then because I have a seat on High Council, I will give myself 2 spice as per the card commands, the intrigue card. And that means I'm at 3 spice now. And yeah, so nice. Okay, great. That bumps me down a persuasion point because I used Signet Ring, but now I get bonus 2 persuasion. I'm at 5 persuasion. I really hope that treachery is still available next round. It doesn't look like it's going to work out that way, but that's okay. So now we're going to go to Ariana Thorvald, who will go to Secrets, and this is the first time she has gone to a Bene Gesserit space. Her tracker moves up 1. Then we're going to go to Vladimir Harkonnen, who is trying to go to Still Suits again, so he can't. But this time he goes to Research Station, and he moves his Twi'lexu tracker forward 2 spaces. That gives him an intrigue card, and he would push troops into combat if he had them, but he doesn't. So he remains at 2 combat points. And then it goes to me for my reveal turn, where I will trash a dagger card to gain a water. Thanks to Water Peddler. I will need to find a way to trash Water Peddler at some point. Eventually, it's actually going to start being a problem for me. And so I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't even know how I gave myself 5 persuasion when I'm really at 4 persuasion. But it doesn't matter because it's all useless. I'm not going to be using any of that. So let's go into Agent Phase 3 now for Thorvald, who will take Hardy Warriors, and this will definitely help. she's going to get 2 troops added to her garrison and push them into combat. It's going to put her at 8 combat points, and she moves her tracker up 1 with the Fremen. This is the first time she has traveled to a Fremen space. And now we're going to go to Vladimir Harkonnen, who will go to Conspire. He definitely has not gone to the Emperor spaces yet, so that's the first time his tracker moves up 1. He generates 2 troops from his supply to his garrison, but it's not a combat space, so they just sit there and hang out. Wonderful. Now we're going to go into combat, and it goes to Thorvald, who blanks out, and then it goes to Harkonnen, who also blanks out. And so that's the end of the House of Gaul stack. But Harkonnen takes second place, so he gets 2 waters, and that gives him a victory point because he just got himself 3 waters total. So he goes from 2 victory points to 3 victory points. And Ariana Thorvald gets a victory point as well, putting her at 3 victory points. We are all tied for first place, but she also gets to put her flag on the Imperial Basin. Her dreadnought goes back to her garrison. Harkonnen's dreadnought goes back to his garrison. Troops go back to their respective supplies. Spice goes on to the desert spaces. All right, and trackers go back. Flip the next conflict card. We're going into the 5th round now. Oh, interesting. Trade Monopoly. That'll be interesting. I don't think I want it, though, in all seriousness. And return Persuasion Tracker. All that has been done. Roll the Imperium Row dice. 4 and 5. So, goodbye, Treachery. Oh, brutal, man. That really sucks because I wanted that card so badly. I had gone to High Council and everything. That's okay. I have that. Okay, so, hey, right on. The voice shows up. That was the card that I was talking about. I bought these cool these cool tokens that go to spaces to block off the board for whenever the voice gets used. So, anyways, I don't think I'm going to buy it, but it's just cool that it's revealed itself. The Voice, for 2 persuasion, it's a Bene Gesserit card that lets you go to blue and yellow spaces. Choose any board space. Opponents can't send their next agents there. This round, it gives you 2 persuasion on reveal turn. Dissecting Kit costs 2 persuasion. It gives you green and blue spaces. It grafts, of course, and if you trash the other grafted card, you get to put a specimen in the Oxalotl tank. It gives you 1 persuasion on a reveal, and if you have 1 genetic marker, you get to move your Twi'leksu tracker up 1. So with all that being said, the thing for me to do now is to shuffle my deck, bring all of these agents back to their home positions, and let everybody know that all 3 of us are tied for first place at 3 victory points. And so the race is now on. We are all gunning for it. Everybody wants a taste of victory. Everybody wants to rule Arrakis. But there can only be one God Emperor, one Kwisatz Haderach, one Lisan al-Gaib. And it's not any of them, I'll tell you that. It's going to be me. Ariana Thorvald begins the 5th round. And we're also going to shuffle House of Gaul. By the way, what do you think of my new table mat? I think it looks so good. It kind of looks like outer space or an ocean or something when I was looking at it on the TV screen. I just thought it looked really cool. Had a nice look. It's better than the maroon color that I was working with before, so I'm really happy with this. All right, let me draw my 5 cards real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here we go. I've got, oh my gosh, you've got to be kidding me. I now have enough for that treachery card that I don't have the ability to use anymore. Okay, so to begin this, I'm at 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 total persuasion. Yeah. And it's going to be Ariana Thorvald who begins this round. So let's see what happens. Hardy Warriors, right out of the gates, you're getting involved in combat and you get a victory point, putting you at 4 victory points. You get 2 troops. Uh-oh, I made a mistake. I'm using yellow agents when they're supposed to be green agents. I accidentally put the wrong agents in the wrong spot. There we go. That's better. No more confusion. Okay. No, I have not moved troops over to the garrison yet. And here they are. It's a combat space. So these 3 things go in, and that puts her at 7 combat points. And now we're going to go to Vladimir Harkonnen, who takes still suits. And he is 1 space away from having the Alliance coin from the Fremen track. And he's also 1 space away from the Alliance coin with the Spacing Guild track, so that's pretty dangerous. But all he does is go there, except he also has, he can put in 2 troops. So he puts his Dreadnought in and 1 troop. That's 5 combat points. Now it's going to go to me. The smart thing to do, I think, is to... Let's see, I'll be able to move my... Okay, cool. I'll be able to take a victory point this turn. So I'm going to take my experimentation, and I'm going to go to the Imperial Basin and get 2 spice. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'll do that right now. Put this here, take 2 spice. And, of course, because Ariana Thorvald has a flag there, she also gets 1 spice. And I'm not going to push troops in right now, but because I use my experimentation, I get to bump this tracker over 1, and it says move the Twi'lexu tracker 1, and that's wonderful. So with that being said, that's my turn. Ariana Thorvald, what do you want to do? You want to go to Arrakeen, and there you're going to put a troop from your supply to your garrison and push it into combat, putting you at 9 combat points, and use your Signet Ring ability, which gives you 1 water. And now we're going to go to Vladimir Harkonnen. This is the second agent phase, by the way. He's going to go to Interstellar Shipping, where he bumps his tracker up 1 and then down all the way. In when you play House of Gaul, the Chom track only goes up 2, and then it comes all the way down where they generate all the rewards, which is especially bad because he just got himself 2 troops added to his garrison. He gets to move his faction tracker wherever he wants, and I'm going to move his Bene Gesserit one up 1, so he gets a victory point. But also, he just got 8 Solari, and 7 of that goes to a victory point, so he's actually at 6 victory points, and he gets 1 Solari. He just moved his Chom tracker all the way back down. So that was a devastating play by Harkonnen. That was awful. Okay, so with that being said, it now goes to me for my second turn, and I think the thing I need to do really is take a fold space in all seriousness so that I can use Hayliner in a round or 2 and get a victory point there and just see what happens. So that's what I think I'm going to do. I'm going to use diplomacy, and I'm going to take a fold space, bump my tracker up 1, get the fold space, put it in my discard pile, and that's going to put me at 5, 6, 7 total persuasion points. Yeah, I do think I want that Arrakis recruiter, especially since getting involved in combat right now would be, not this round obviously, but soon. I have that restricted ordnance card, so that's pretty good. Anyways, with that being said, yeah, Arrakis recruiter could be good for me. I think that's what I'm going to go with. All right, that being said, we're going to go to Agent Phase 3 now, to Ariana Thorvald, who will do what? Thorvald cannot take fold space. I already have fold space. So she goes to tech negotiation, and you better believe she's going to be able to buy something. She buys training drones for only 1 spice because, oh, actually, she gets it totally for free because it costs -1 spice off the discount, and she already has 2 tech negotiators there. So it's just literally 100% free for her. those negotiators paid off. And when she gets it, she uses it and taps it and generates a troop to her garrison. Every round, she will be tapping that to generate a troop to her garrison. So that's a pretty nice little tech tile. And she reveals invasion ships for 5 spice. You get 4 troops added to your garrison when you purchase the tech tile. And when you tap the card, you discard a card. Enemy agents don't block your agents this turn. So it really wouldn't do anything for House Hagal. However, the 4 troops added to the garrison is pretty devastating. Let's go to Harkonnen. And he's going to go to Carthag. He's going to generate himself a troop, and he's going to push 2 in. I'm sorry, the one he generated, and then 2 more. So that's actually going to push him to 7 to 9 to 11 points, taking the lead in combat, and he pushes his Twi'leksu tracker up 1 as well. He goes to me for my reveal phase. There's nothing I want to buy. Oh, yeah, I did want to buy Arrakis Recruiter. That's right, I did want to buy that because I see that being useful. And, power play. That puts me from... I have enough for power play. I had 7 minus 2, so I'll buy power play. That will come in handy for a free victory point with the Fremen tracker down the road. Lady Jessica, nice. Now, on a reveal turn, I get to put a specimen in the Axolotl tank. I will spend all 3 of these specimens to move my Twi'leksu tracker up 1. Here, I gain a victory point, and I get 2 spice, which gives me 7 total spice. And that means I have enough for Hayliner down the road when I need it. And that's going to be absolutely instrumental for winning, getting a victory in this game. So Harkonnen gets the first player token for the next round, but before we do that, we're going to go to the combat phase, and it went from me to Ariana Thorvald, who blanks out, and that's unfortunate because, Harkonnen also blanks out, but Harkonnen takes the lead in any case, so that means that Harkonnen, oh my gosh, this is awful, he bumps his tracker up 2 spaces and generates a troop from his supply to his garrison. Now he's 1 chom track movement away from getting all those rewards as he has already done once. Now, Ariana Thorvald, she gets 1 water. That's 1 water away from another victory point, and she gets 1 intrigue card. She has 2 intrigue cards as we speak. All right, now, look at that. I'm going to give the bank back 5 of my spice, so that I can give myself a 5 spice token. This will allow me to be able to put spice on these 2 desert spaces, Haga Basin and the Great Flat. And with that said, we return combat trackers. We return all these troops to their respective supplies. Oh yeah, wouldn't you know it? First place is going to cover the other one's flag, and the other one's going to put their dreadnought at Arrakis. Put these troops back. Flip the next conflict card. Oh, this one is terrible. I don't like that at all, but we're getting into the 6th round. The next round is where the real rewards are at. Oh, goodness gracious. What do I need to do? Put this back here, and yes. All right, so with all that being said, I would just like to inform everyone that Vladimir Harkonnen is in first place with a total of 6 victory points, while I am in second with 4 victory points, and Ariana Thorvald is in last place with 3 victory points. It doesn't look good for her. She's been left in the dust, it seems, and I'm also getting left in the dust. Harkonnen is really making some moves this game. He's going to be very, very difficult to beat. We're going to roll the Imperium Row die and see what happens. 3. Lady Jessica is off the board. And Bene Twi'leksu Lab. So Lady Jessica and the Bene Twi'leksu Lab are gone. That's unfortunate. I would have liked to buy Lady Jessica, but that's okay. What we have is Imperial Shock Trooper for 3 persuasion. It's an Emperor card. It does nothing on an agent phase, but you get 1 persuasion and 2 combat. on a reveal, and if you have an agent on an Emperor board space, you get +3 attack points to the conflict. Throne Room Politics, I believe that is a promo card that I got. It costs 4 persuasion to buy, Emperor, and a Bene Gesserit card. It lets you go to Emperor spaces. You generate a troop, and you get to trash a card, and on reveal phase, you get to move your Bene Gesserit tracker, and you get 1 persuasion. You know what? That's actually a card worth thinking about, only for the reveal. Yeah, because if I reveal a Bene Gesserit, I would be able to get a victory point. So I might buy that just so I could reveal it. Okay, so it goes to Harkonnen to begin the next round. And what will Harkonnen do? Harkonnen never moved his first agent back. Will harvest spice. So he goes to the Great Flat where he gets 5 spice. And he pushes in his 2 troops, which puts him at 4 combat points. And then it goes to me, where I draw 4 cards, and then I gotta shuffle my deck, my discard pile. Give it a couple good shuffles here so that it's really thoroughly shuffled. Then I draw my card. Okay. Let's see here. I'm sitting at 4, 5, 7 total persuasion points. I still can't really make any use out of this subject X-137. So what I think I'm going to do is trash it so I can get a water this round. I'm pretty much done with it. It's just plugging up my deck. So I'm going to trash this, use this card on reveal to trash this card. And that leaves me with 2 other cards. I guess I should be thinking about getting involved in combat with only 1 agent. However, I have my Signet Ring ability. So, let's think this through. I could, let's see here. If I went to Research Station, I would be spending both of my waters. I would push in 2 troops to the conflict, but that would give me 4 plus 4 on my restricted ordinance. So that's 8 total combat points right out of the gate. And I would get to move my tracker here, put a specimen in the Oxalotl tank, and move my tracker forward 1 space. Why is that particularly good? I think it might allow me to potentially get that next intrigue card if I reveal another specimen. If I use another experimentation card somewhere, I could move that tracker here, put another specimen in. That would be 2, and I still have another experimentation. So then, no, that would be 3 total. Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking about using that researcher tracker, and it doesn't look right. So I would be able to get to that intrigue card, and that's about all I can hope for. Unless I keep subject X-137. Yikes. Maybe the correct card to trash is Convincing Argument or Reconnaissance. Because you never know, subject X-137, I could use that to get the tracker down. Okay, so I think I do know what I want to do. Yeah, I'll use Water Peddler to trash out Reconnaissance. And or shucks, I can't do that either because I wouldn't have a second agent phase then. That's not true. Okay. Signet Ring, I'm going to do that. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bank on getting that 3 Laxer track moving. I'm going to use my Signet Ring to put my agent at the research station. It's going to let me generate 1 troop because of my Signet Ring ability. And I'm going to push both my troops into combat because that is a combat space. That puts me at 4. But really, if you remember, I have restricted ordinance, which gives me 4 combat points more out of the gate. And then I get to draw 2 cards and Oh, that's right. I wouldn't have to worry. Yeah, so I'm drawing 2 new cards. I forgot. Duh. I got so wrapped up in thinking about the Twilaxu tracker, I forgot to even think about that aspect. And I get to put a specimen in the Axolotl tank over here. And I get to draw 2 cards. So let's see what I get. Oh, there's another specimen, and there's another specimen. That's great. That means I'm going to get that intrigue card next round. Awesome. And then if I can get this subject card to work for me at some point, that would be the final victory point over there. So that's pretty rad. Excelente. I like how that works. Now I've still got to think about what I want to trash. Do I even need to trash? No, this is too easy to use. That's what I'll just do it that way. I'll trash my convincing argument as much as I hate it. Anyway, we're going to get to Ariana Thorvald, who is going to go to Arrakeen, and Ariana Thorvald gets 1 Solari for having done that. She gets to generate herself a water, her signet ring ability, and she has 3 waters. And so now she's tied with me at 4 victory points. And let's see here. What happens then? Why can't I think? She generates a troop from her supply to her garrison, and she pushes in 2 troops, putting her at 4 combat points. Okay, that's the issue I was forgetting. Now we're in the second agent phase, and he's taking Hayliner, and he gets the Alliance token, so he gets himself a victory point and 3 Solari. That's 1 Solari away from a victory point, so that's deadly. And he also just got himself a victory point as well. Oh, man. Vicious. So now he's at 7 victory points, and he puts 3 troops into the garrison and adds them. So he's at, let's see, 4. He's at 10 total combat points. And then it goes to me now, and it's my second agent phase. I thought I wanted to try to win this combat. Maybe I still do want to. I really need to hope that this intrigue card gets me something good, keeping in mind that I will have another intrigue card on my Twilaxu track, so I have 2 intrigue cards coming up. I'm going to go to Reconnaissance and put my agent here, generate a troop to the supply through the garrison, add him there, get myself tied with him at 10 combat points, and I get 1 intrigue card. When I win a conflict, I get 3 spice. Right now, spice is not what I need. And so now we're going to go to Ariana Thorvald, who will go to Fold Space. This is the first time she's gone to a Spacing Guild track, so she just moves that up 1. And then it's going to go to Harkonnen. This is officially Agent Phase 3 now. And he goes to Selective Breeding, and he just bumps his tracker up 1. He's almost going to get that Alliance token as well. It goes to me for my reveal phase, where I said I was going to trash out. I forgot to spend 2 water, by the way, when I went to Research Station. And I was going to use Water Peddler to trash my convincing argument, which actually puts me down to Persuasion for this, and that's okay because there's really nothing I want. And I get 2 specimen added to the Axolotl tanks, and that's 3 total specimen. So I will cash those in to move my Twilaxu tracker 1. Please be a good intrigue card. It's not. I get to bump my Emperor tracker up 1, however. So that's good. I could get 2 troops in our Alliance token next turn if I take Wealth or something like that. But that probably wouldn't be a smart play. Anyway, that's terrible. I am only 1 away from getting that final victory point over there, and then the research tracker really becomes redundant. So subject X137 is going to come in handy that time. So I guess the next 2 cards I could trash out of these experimentations. And yeah, that's what I'm thinking I'm going to do. This game is not looking good so far. I got to really start winning. All right, we're going to go back to Agent Phase 3 to see what Ariana Thorvald wants to do. And she doesn't have enough to do anything. She can't go to... Oh, she can go to smuggling. I apologize. This is the first time she's even used this space at all. So she just moves her CHOAM tracker up 1. Now we're going to go to combat phase. And there's absolutely nothing I can do to generate any more combat points. So I'm probably going to take second place. Actually, we're both going to take second place. Awesome! He blanks out. Harkonnen blanks out. Oh, actually, I apologize. We still don't know what Thorvald is going to do. So she generates 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. She gets nothing. All right, with that being said, Harkonnen blanks out. So that means he and I are tied for second. He does get 2 Solari, which means he gets a victory point. That's awful. All 7 of his Solari will be spent, leaving him with 1 Solari. And that gets him a victory point. He's now at 8 victory points. This is getting very, very close to a win. Oh no, he also just got an entry card. He now has the... Oh, I thought I saw an entry card under here. I apologize. He only has 2 entry cards. Whew. That's close. He was about to cash those in for a victory point, but he's 1 shy. So that would have been really scary, dangerous. And with that being said, I also get 2 Solari and an entry card, and it's about time I get an entry card that can actually work for me. Refocus. Shuffle your discard pile into your deck, then draw. That could be used, I suppose. Okay. With all that being said, I could go for that. Yeah, Subject X37. Anyway, so with that being said, we're going to put these trackers back, put Spice onto the board, Haga Basin, and Imperial Basin. I'm set up good to win this next round because I have the restricted ordinance and enough to take Hayliner, so that's looking really, really good. And so with that, we're going to put all troops back to the respective supplies. They get their dreadnoughts back. We are going to flip this conflict card. Battle for Arrakeen. First place gets 2 victory points and a flag on Arrakeen. This is the 7th round, and so that's pretty nice. And I get to start the next round too, so that's cool also. Okay, so with that being said, all agents are going to be returned. I still got to roll the Imperium Road dice. 1 and 3. Oh no, the Throne Room Politics card I wanted is gone. Womp womp. Okay. We reveal Organ Merchants for 3 persuasion. Lets you go to blue and yellow spaces. You spend a specimen in the Oxalotl tank to gain 4 Solari. It gives you 1 persuasion, 1 Solari on a reveal turn. CHOAM Delegate for 1 persuasion. Lets you go to yellow spaces and share those spaces with other agents. And it has the unload effect. Discard or trash a card to gain 3 Solari. That's pretty cool. Okay, so... with that being said, I would just like to inform everyone that Vladimir Harkonnen has a commanding lead. He's at 8 victory points and in first place, while Ariana Thorvald and myself are at 4 victory points, tied for second place. This doesn't look good for us at all, but, you know, we're just going to have to try to win anyways, despite all the odds. We're going to have to find a way. That's what this game is all about. It's all about trying to find a way. I'm going to draw my next hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And wouldn't you know it, here you go. Here you go. Okay. Oh, I never gave myself my water, did I? Or maybe it's underneath one of these things. I never gave myself my water for using that card, the Water Peddler card. So there's that. Yeah, the reason why that's important is because I got my power play. So what I would like to do is, since I get to start this turn, is I'm going to use Fold Space and take Hayliner. This card goes back here. I get to draw a card. So first, just let me shuffle my discard pile. Really, really good. Experimentation is revealed. I don't know if that's going to do me any good, but I put my first agent at Hayliner. I spend 6 spice. I get to put that 2 waters over here, and I bump my tracker up 1, gain a victory point, and I gain 5 troops, and I'm going to put them all into the conflict. That gives me 10, and because I have restricted orders, I gain 4 additional combat points. That puts me at 14 points. Yes, that's pretty good. And so now, with that being said, I think the best thing to do, honestly, is to nuke the Imperium Row. So I'm going to nuke them out and get rid of all those cards, since none of them are really working for me, and see if I can get something good. Apes Guild Compact, Bene Gesserit's Sister, Chome Directorship. Oh my god! I've got to be able to get that card. Okay, I don't think I'm going to have enough for it, though. Let me see where I'm at. I'm at 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 7. Shucks, not enough. One away. I'm very tempted. I can't do anything about it. I guess I could go to... I couldn't do that, could I? Nope, I couldn't. Shucks. That's okay. That's okay. I'll just hope for it next round. Anyways, let's go to Ariana Thorvald, who wants to go to Carthag for her first turn. She's going to generate a troop to her garrison and push these both into combat, putting her at 5 total combat points. She gets to move her Twi'lexu tracker forward 1, giving her an intrigue card. She now has... Oh, you know what? I don't know if I tapped her tactile last round. Oh, no! That's absolutely devastating, because she actually has another troop here. I really hope that I did. I don't think I did. And would it have been enough to get her? Oh, I feel awful. It doesn't happen very often where I screw up that badly, but she has this tactile I was supposed to be using, and so now I feel like the whole game is disturbed. Oh, that's terrible. You know what? We're just going to have to roll with the punches, and yeah, that's really awful. It doesn't look like I'm going to win, but even if I do win, it's not going to feel like a true victory. The only way I can really truly feel good about that is if I just beat Ariana Thorvald and just leave her totally in the dust. Then I wouldn't feel so bad. It's just, wouldn't it just be awful if, like, she tied us in that last round? I just don't know how that would have... We all 3 would have ended up getting some stuff. So maybe what I need to do is just give it to her as a penalty to myself for that. So she's getting herself a victory point right now, cashing in these intrigue cards. And I'm going to give her 2 Solari and an intrigue card, because this is how I'm going to punish myself for making that mistake. And she gets back an intrigue card. So we're going to pretend that she tied us in the last round. Whether she actually did or not is besides the point. Shame on me for forgetting to give her training drones. So anyways, with that being said, we're going to go to Vladimir Harkonnen. And, oh, I forgot. She's supposed to trash out Guild Impersonator and replace it with Industrial Espionage, which for 1 specimen lets you go to green spaces and lets you draw a card. If it's grafted, which it does not graft itself, but if it is grafted, you get to move the research track and gain a specimen to the Axolotl tanks, and you gain 1 persuasion on a reveal turn. So Vladimir Harkonnen, what do you want to do? You want to harvest spice. You're going to go here and get yourself 5 spice. You have a lot of spice, buddy, and you're going to push your Dreadnought into the combat zone. That gives you 3 combat points. So now it goes to me. We are in Agent Phase 2 now, and I'm going to use Power Play to do what? Yeah, I'm going to use Hardy Warriors. Power Play, it gets trashed immediately. I go to Hardy Warriors. I get a victory point, and I'm going to take that victory point, putting me in 2nd place with 6, generate 2 troops from the supply to my garrison. Hayliner is taken, so nobody can take that spot. I feel like I have a nice lead. Also, You know what? I might be able to afford Chome Directorship this round because I have shuffle your discard pile into your deck and then draw a card. I think I'm going to do that. So I'm at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to do that. I'm going to draw a card right now. So that will get used. I'll draw a card. I don't have a. It's 1 persuasion, so that puts me to 8. I have enough for Chome Directorship. That's really, really good because I'll get a victory point over here, and I'll also get 2 troops from the supply to my garrison. So that is really, really good. I'm going to push in. These guys still have 4 more agents, so I'm going to push these troops in. 16, 18. Yeah, I feel like that's the smarter move. Not to mention I still have a Arrakis Recruiter, which will get me 1 combat point. So I've got a very commanding lead. That's very, very good. And we're going to go to Ariana Thorvald, who will take wealth, and this will get her tied with me for that alliance coin. I hope she doesn't get it before me. If she gets that coin before me, I'll be screwed out of that victory point that I need so desperately. Anywho, with that being said, oh yes, that's correct. We're going to go to Harkonnen. Did I give her? No, she just takes wealth. He's going to take Conspire. I don't have to worry about her taking that victory point, but he's at 9 victory points now, so he could win the game. He's going to generate 2 troops to his garrison, and there they will sit. It's going to go to me now for my reveal turn. I gain 1 combat point, putting me at 19. I get 2 specimen added to the Axolotl tanks over here, and I have a total of 8 persuasion. So this will just sit here now. I will buy Chome Directorship. So this will go up 1. This will go up 1. I get a victory point. This will go up 1, and this will go up 1. I get a victory point and 2 troops. I'm going to win this game. All right, awesome, because I'm at 8 victory points, and if I win this combat, I'm going to be able to end the game, and so I feel pretty good about that. Okay, so with that being said, that was because I bought Chome Directorship on my reveal turn, by the way. And we got Spice Hunter for 2 persuasion. It's a Fremen card. It lets go to Fremen spaces and triangle spaces. You get 1 persuasion and 1 combat point, and if you have a Fremen bond, you get 1 spice. So with that being said, we're now going to go back to Agent Phase 3. Ariana Thorvald will go to Selective Breeding. She will push herself up 1 here and gain herself a victory point. And that's all she does. Then it's going to go to Vladimir Harkonnen, who will harvest spice all the way over here. He's going to give a spice to Ariana Thorvald. And he's going to take 2 spice for himself. And he's going to push in 2 troops to the conflict because that's what's inside of his garrison. And that's going to push him from the 3 to 5 to 7 total combat points. All right, now we've already revealed, so we're going to go straight into combat. It was just Ariana's turn, so Harkonnen is going to reveal 4. He's a yellow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, you know what? I'm being stupid. It was just now Harkonnen's turn, so this goes to me, where I've already revealed my 1 point. So it goes to Thorvald. She moves 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we go to Harkonnen, who reveals 1. Bink. And so that's great. That's actually really, really good. So because I win this conflict, I get 2 victory points. 1, 2, putting me at 10, ending the game. I get to put my flag on Arrakeen. And I give 2nd place an intrigue card. And I guess I'll give them 2 Solari. No, 3 Solari. Oh, that's still not enough Solari for a victory point. I was hoping she'd be able to get 1 off. But she's at 6 Solari now. And that's too bad for her. Okay, so Harkonnen gets nothing. And I win. I also get 3 spice for winning the combat. Might as well do that. I never spent my 1 water for having gone to Hardy Warriors. Big whoop. And I can acquire a card that costs 3 or less. I don't think I'm going to need to do that. But you know what? I won. It was a close game. It was actually pretty close. I didn't see it happening. I will be watching the game to see how badly I screwed up with Ariana Thorvald. I really hope that I redeemed myself by having her tie. I feel like I only messed up one time, and that was the only time that it really would have mattered. And she would have tied with us, meaning we all three would have gotten second place rewards. So she may not have even tied with us. I maybe, I mean, I gotta look back, but it would have just been 2 additional combat points. Um, and I just don't even know if that's how it would have played out. Maybe one of them would have been left in the garrison. I just don't know. I gotta watch the replay. I'm okay. So what would I do different? I am sad that the Twi'leksu track never got maxed out. I wish I was able to get that final victory point. And let's face it, let's just be straight up. I would not be able to take this victory if it wasn't for the fact that I was able to buy CHOAM directorship in this round. We would have had to go into another round. And for sure, at that point, let me see what would have been my next hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I would have been able to get that final victory point. So that would have ended it at 10. I got 2 victory points off of the CHOAM directorship. So I would need to make up 2 additional victory points. So this would be a victory point. I would draw a card and hopefully not have it be a total dud of a card. I don't know. Let me just draw one at random here. I'll just see what I'm just trying to do this for funsies. I don't know why I need to see how it would have panned out. I would have ended up with a convincing arguments. So yeah, let's see here. This card would need to be used for a triangle space, and then I would use my signet ring at Carthag. So I'd get a victory point there. I would hope to use Carthag. I have an alliance coin, so I would get 3 troops plus the 2 of my garrison. That would be 5 total troops, putting me at 14 conflict points. And would I win 2 victory points before these guys? I don't know. I feel like I still had a pretty good shot at winning. So yeah, that's pretty rad. I feel like I still would have won even if the game went on another round. My Harkonnen was 1 victory point here. He was 1 away from that, so that's a thing that could happen. He was another victory point here, and he would have been able to move a faction up 1. So he would have been able to get a victory point there. So that's 2 victory points. He could have got 3 victory points next round if everything worked out right for him. And also here, he would have been able to get a victory point if he took one of those alliance coins. So he had a lot of opportunities to get a lot of victory points next round if everything went accordingly. So he could have got 3 victory points. So maybe it would not have been a sure win for me if we had to go in one more round, but that's okay. Luck came my way. CHOAM directorship showed up, and I was lucky with that. I feel like the game went really, really well. There was a little bit of luck that went my way. There's always a little bit of luck that goes your way in any game you play. Any good game has a little bit of a luck factor to it. So I think it went really good. I feel good about this victory. And you know what? I am now one win ahead of my own record. So I believe I'm playing the 14th game, so that's 7-7. I believe I have 8 victories in the hole and 6 or 7. Yes, I think. No, this is game 14, and I've done 13 at Kwisatz Haderach level difficulty. So, yes, I have 6 losses and 7 wins. That's right. That's what I have. At Kwisatz Haderach level difficulty, I have 6 losses and 7 wins on my record. I wanted to come up with a placard that will show the camera. Here's where I'm at with my record at this time. So anyways, with that said, I'd like you all to like and subscribe and share this with your friends, people you know that like board games. Please do so. And maybe I'll be able to play another game tomorrow if luck is on my side. It seems like it could be fun. I'd like to get 3 games in this week to make up for last week. And then, of course, I'd have to put all this away because I've got company coming over on Friday. We're all going to play a board game. Perhaps it's going to be Gloomhaven. and then I'll have to realign the board again and do all that again, and it'll be fun times. But tomorrow, the board is already in its perfect position, so I won't have to spend the entire beginning of the stream just setting up the game board. All right, I'm talking, I'm yapping, I'm wasting time. I just want to say thanks for watching, and I'm Admiral Trench. Have yourself a good rest of your day. Bye.